2-hour standoff in Garden County ends peacefully with the suspect taken into emergency protective custody. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, authorities say a Llewellyn resident is in protective custody following an incident Tuesday afternoon. NSP officials say the Garden County Sheriff's Office requested assistance with a situation in Llewellyn at approximately 2:45 p.m. in which the sole occupant of a residence had threatened self-harm. Troopers, including crisis negotiators, responded to the scene, and after approximately 2 hours, negotiators were able to get the subject to voluntarily exit the residence. Authorities say the individual was taken into custody without incident and would be placed in emergency protective custody. Well, Republican gubernatorial candidate Teresa Thibodeau is making a swing through the Panhandle this week, sitting down with voters to find out what's important to them as we head towards the May primary election. Yesterday, it was breakfast at Bobby Joe's Branding Iron in Bayard, where Thibodeau discussed a wide range of subjects. With a digital notepad in hand with 4 pages of notes, she told KNEB News voters want to be seen and heard, and there is common ground between urban and rural.
What as a whole entire state are we facing? And I say the same thing when I'm on the other side of the state. The other message I would like to send is I don't just travel the state just to get elected. Everything I've ever done in my life, I dig into, I do research, I learn, because I don't just do something to have a title or buy a legacy. I do it because I care and I want to make a difference.
Thibodeau said while she generally shares many of the same stances on issues as other candidates in the race, she brings wide experience and a depth of understanding the others have not displayed. She also says economics and property tax relief are top issues, and the best way to give Nebraskans help on the latter is to have a full slate of funding tied to the student, which would also give parents more choice in how their children are educated. We'll have more news right after this.
The journey of a dream becoming reality. When we're young, a dream develops into a passion. That passion continues to manifest and grows as you do. It becomes all you want to do and all you want to be. It gives you direction. It drives you. Then, your dream has become a reality. When that dream is ready to be reality, Platte Valley Bank will be with you every step of the way.
Why love a rain garden? Let me count the ways. Rain gardens contain and filter water runoff while recharging our underground water supply. They provide habitat for birds, bees, and beneficial insects. Native perennials give 4 seasons of color and texture, beautifying a home while increasing its value. Established gardens are low-maintenance, low-water landscape features, colorful, functional, and sustainable. Rain gardens, brought to you by Tri-City Stormwater. Our water, our responsibility.
Welcome back. An 18-year-old accused of swerving his pickup towards a man getting out of a vehicle parked on a Scottsbluff street has been sentenced. Charles Shanks Jr. was originally charged with felony attempted second-degree assault after the victim had to jump out of the way as the truck swerved at him. Last week in district court, Shanks was sentenced on an amended charge of third-degree assault, which dropped it from a felony to a misdemeanor. District Judge Andrea Miller sentenced Shanks to 9 months of probation plus court costs. Well, bird flu continues to spread across the state, prompting Nebraska agriculture officials to ban all auctions and fair events involving poultry. The Nebraska Agriculture Department announced this weekend that a 4th case of avian influenza has been confirmed in the state, although this latest one came in a small backyard flock in Holt County instead of a large commercial operation. Cases of the highly contagious disease have been confirmed in at least 18 states, and more than 13 million chickens and turkeys have been slaughtered to limit its spread. Health officials have said the disease does not present an immediate public health concern to humans. And Nebraska Governor Pete Ricketts has vetoed a bill that would force the state to apply for $120 million in federal pandemic rental assistance. The Republican governor argued that Nebraska is no longer in a declared state of emergency due to the pandemic and said the extra money would amount to a subsidy that would make recipients reliant on the government. Ricketts also says the state still has nearly $30 million in unused rental assistance money from an earlier round of federal aid. He says Nebraska only used about 40% of the money from that first round. Supporters have said they'll attempt to override the governor's veto, which would require support from 30 state lawmakers. Well, coming up after the break, temperatures struggled to get out of the 30s today, but we're likely to be much warmer by this time tomorrow. Bill's got your midweek forecast right after this.
The Verizon family is full of frowns because they're spending too much for their unlimited data and phones, while the Viero family is all smiles because they're getting 4 lines of unlimited data with 2 free Apple iPhone SE for mom and dad and 2 free LG K31 smartphones for the kids, all for just $100 a month. They're saving so much, they're able to get Fido. Find out how you can too at Viero.com or your nearest Viero store. Viero Wireless, keeping you connected.
I really like how our OB department takes our limited amount of doctors and turns it into a strength. Even though we only have a couple of people, you get to know them well over your entire pregnancy. We have 2 state-of-the-art labor rooms that are new with our last addition. We have a couple of very nice postpartum rooms also right here in the hospital, so they can get as much time with mom and baby as possible.
Welcome back. For this week's featured pet of the week, we meet Maverick, a 3-year-old German Shepherd mix that needs a great forever home. This is Maverick, and he needs you to be his goose and rendezvous at the Panhandle Humane Society. Staff says he's a great dog, but his ideal home would be one without small children. His adoption cost is $150, and that includes his neuter, microchipping, and vaccinations. Plus, whoever adopts Maverick will also receive a $25 Murdoch's gift card to start spoiling him right away.
Welcome to Kelly's, home of the Valley's best selection of wine, spirits, and beer. Whether you're brand loyal to the tried and true brew or really enjoy trying something different and new, Kelly's has something for everyone. Family owned and operated and right on your way on West 27th Street in Scotts Bluff. Kelly's Liquor. If you can't find it at Kelly's, it's not worth drinking.
let's take a peek at what's happening on your midweek community calendar. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. First State Bank is now Riverstone Bank. Community strong with the same people you know and trust.
Panhandle Trails Intercity Public Transit, based in Alliance, Nebraska, is the only intercity bus serving Nebraska Panhandle communities and Pine Ridge, South Dakota. Panhandle Trails operates a regularly scheduled bus service, assisting you in making connections with Greyhound bus partners, regional airports, healthcare, employment and education opportunities, shopping, family, friends, and more. Panhandle Trails serves the general public of all ages and offers accessible transportation for those with special mobility needs. Let Panhandle Trails help you make your connection. Call 308-761-8747.
Swipe right, swipe left, endlessly searching. Finding the perfect match isn't always perfect, but it can be when it comes to finances. Nora found the perfect business loan. Jenny opened her first savings account. Grammy loves her checking account. We found a match for Wilson Farms. The Sandersons were matched with a mortgage. Regardless of your financial situation, Platte Valley Bank will match you with the perfect solution. Find your match at Platte Valley Bank.
And finally tonight, now that we're just 6 weeks away from the May primary elections, Scottsbluff officials are reminding residents about city ordinances pertaining to political signs. City Planning Administrator Zach Globius told the City Council that signs should not go up until at least 45 days before the election and can stay up 10 days after the election. Additionally, there are other rules about where you can post and size limits related to those signs.
They need to be posted on private property with the consent of the property owner, of course. They can't be put in right-of-way of any public street or alley, nor can they be in government property. And then finally, they can't be located in sight distance triangle on street corners.
He adds that signs also cannot obstruct or impair driver's vision and cannot stand more than 4 feet in height. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. We'll see you here next time.